about a local group seeking to return minor league baseball to New Orleans. It's something that we're inherently aware of and expediently trying to move forward because we think it would be great for our community, those of us that understand the value of jobs, understand the value of moving the economy, family entertainment, and for the entire region, I might add, not just for Metairie or East Bank of Jefferson Parish, but for everybody in this region. I don't think anybody could deny how good minor league baseball was here, in particular when the New Orleans Zephyrs first moved to Zephyr Field in Metairie, and how special it was. And, of course, I had a front row seat to that. It was probably the most fun experience I had in my professional life, and I've been blessed to do a lot of things and love baseball, of course, anyway. So that was a tremendous experience. So can it be done? Yes. Will it be done? We hope so. If it's going to be done, it's got to be done by local people, local owners. Joining us now online is our good friend Walt Leger, Walter Leger the second, I might add, because he, of course, was involved with the minor league baseball franchise from its inception in 1993 at Privateer Park, Maestri Field, and ultimately until the most recent departure of the team to be named later, but not on this show. Walter, how are you? Great to have you with us.
My friend.
Doing fine. Say hi to Ed as well, man.
Hey, Ed, how you doing? It's good to hear both of you. You're both such big parts of the very successful aspect of the New Orleans Zephyrs from the beginning in the old days. And, of course, sports all the way around, both of you guys. Ed and Ken, it's a real pleasure to be with you.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you with us. And I think, look, the theme of this show and everything that's happening in society today, I think is what we're trying to accomplish here. And I say we're because we're all part and parcel in some way. Number one, we'd love to see minor league baseball back in the New Orleans area. Number two, to use a facility that was clearly built for that. Number two, we'd like to see the opportunity for people to enjoy pure family entertainment at an affordable price because that's truly what it is. And number three, we'd like to see jobs created. And number four, we'd like to see it be a unifying aspect because I have said this over and over again, nothing unifies a community more than sports. We see that with the Saints games all the time. Rich and poor, black and white, Democrat and Republican, doesn't make any difference. They're hugging each other, high-fiving each other when touchdowns are scored. And this baseball effort reflects that with people from Orleans Parish, people from Jefferson Parish, reaching out to people from the surrounding parishes. That's the way to make it work, and with local ownership. Agreed?
Absolutely. One of the most exciting things you touched on about minor league baseball from my perspective, and I was fortunate to be involved with Rob Coig when he brought the team here in '95. Rob and I and a group of others bought the team. We built the stadium in '97, and I think we built one of the most successful minor league franchises in the United States at that time. Of course, won the World Series in '98, and the league championship, another league championship in 2001. So we've had great success. But the great aspect to me has been the family aspect. When you called me to come on the show, by the way, I was delayed because I was spending time with my three of my grandsons, and my son-in-law, Everett, James, and Charlie, and my son-in-law, Jeff, talking about baseball, they missed a season of baseball. The heck with the pros missing the season. Those young guys missed the season of baseball. And I go back to the fact that my son, Walt III, who now a former legislator, was one of the original bat boys. My son, Rhett, also worked at Zephyr Field. My daughter sang the national anthem from the booth that you and I served in together. And it was all family entertainment. That's what it's really about. And to me, we don't have enough of family entertainment in the New Orleans area. We're doing everything we can to bring minor league baseball back.
Well, one of the things that I wanted to ask on the Zoom meeting on Thursday, but for whatever reason I couldn't get my microphone to work, was there is a tremendous amount of money that is being given to the states as far as the stimulus after COVID-19. And I know there's already been a fight in the legislature about where some of that money is going, to the tune of about $811 million. Is there any chance that the governor would or the legislature would see fit to allocate at least a smidge of that money for a repair of Zephyr Field?
Well, first of all, yeah, let me say that there is a significant amount of money coming this way. But in the past several years, as that team whose name we don't like to mention, and I was working with them though and trying to do everything we could to help them. While they were trying to build their franchise, the stadium was deteriorating, but they made a conscious decision not to go try to fight for some of the money because of the budget crunch in Louisiana and the impact of the budget on health care, particularly for minorities and those that were more needy, and education. And we just decided that shouldn't be a top priority. However, this governor has been very sensitive to baseball. I think he understands the deficits at Zephyr Field, or some call it the Cheyenne Airline. I don't know if that it's appropriate to get federal funding to repair a baseball stadium. I know Mississippi took some of their recovery money from Katrina and interestingly built a baseball stadium in Biloxi with it, while all of us were fighting to get back in our homes. And a lot of people were critical of that. I'm all in favor of the baseball team and the stadium, but there are priorities. I think there's money available in the capital outlay process. We're going to need full support, and that's what Ken, Ed, you, Arnie Coco, and I and others are doing in this phone call, maybe 50 leaders in the community the other day, trying to unify the region, the political establishment, particularly the Jefferson local politicians. And we just have to get Congressman Scalise was on board. I know Congressman Cedric is 100% on board. These are two of the most influential members of Congress in helping us get minor league baseball back here. I think there's a good chance of it. We need to inspire our local legislative delegation. And of course, again, we have to really prioritize. To us, this is really important. There are some other priorities that are important, but I think we can put this, we can manage this as well. There are other aspects of funding. So yes, and you're right, Ed, there's a significant investment that's necessary to bring Zephyr Field, which in 1997, when we ran things, and in 98 when we won the World Series, was more or less a state-of-the-art facility. It's now going to need a good bit of work to come back up to professional baseball standards.
And we got about 2 minutes left. You mentioned Scalise and Richmond. I think that's kind of what reflects the overarching element of this effort that I think is so important, and I think it should reflect society today, is that people work together. I know Cedric Richmond not as well as you do. I know Steve Scalise very well. They're both really good men. They have differing views politically and are opposed politically quite a bit, but they like and respect each other. And on something like this, they're more than willing to work in unison to help get something accomplished. That's what this effort is all about, with the people trying to get involved.
Absolutely.
That's the way we should look in society based upon what's happening in society today.
Absolutely, Kenny. The two of them, Congressman Richmond and Congressman Scalise, are very good friends and poles apart politically, but very good friends. One thing they do share is a love of baseball. Congressman Scalise was the congressman when he was a state representative, represented the area of Zephyr Field. And he was very instrumental in helping that stadium get built and toward the success of the Zephyrs. Congressman Richmond was a state representative sometime thereafter, but he is a big baseball guy. Former college baseball president. As some of you may know, he is the perennial star of the congressional baseball competition and baseball game up in Washington, D.C. In fact, the year that Congressman Scalise was recovering and made his first and was actually shot, up in Washington, he was practicing to play in that game. Congressman Richmond wore the uniform of the New Orleans professional baseball team, and the game was dedicated to Congressman Scalise on Congressman Richmond's recommendation. So yeah, I mean, they represent the best and the greatest hope. Their relationship, their cooperation, their ability to work together across aisles, the best that we can hope for these days, I think.
No doubt. Really good men, and I'll close on this. Scalise told me that the very first visitor he had in the hospital was Cedric Richmond. And that's, again, a reflection, and I say that even though we're talking baseball, because that's what we need to be like here. That's what this needs to be all about bringing people together, getting everybody involved, and that's what it's going to take to make this happen. And as we close, Walter, I don't like to put numbers on anything, so I'm not asking you for a percentage. Neither is Ed. But do you think there's a reasonable chance, a good chance, a very good chance, or a slim chance of this happening?
Before the coronavirus, I'd been on the phone. Actually, I was getting calls regularly, almost weekly or every 2 weeks from the president of minor league baseball, wanting to confirm. And we do have a group of investors who have the sufficient resources to actually get this done. He wanted to confirm professional baseball wanted to come back to New Orleans, and they were trying to create an aspect that there would be a team. The coronavirus has been a big setback for minor league baseball. You guys are very familiar also with the dispute between Major League Baseball and the whole structure of minor league baseball. So I would have said we had an excellent chance before the coronavirus. I'm telling you now, I think we have more than a 50-50 chance, but the effort now is if we can demonstrate that we want a team as much as any other community in America, we're gonna get a team. Maybe not next year for 2021, but we'll have a really good shot for 2022. We need to be in a position to jump on the opportunity. If we just lay back, when I coached my boys, I used to tell them, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I thought I invented that. I heard some hockey player created that, but I still believe it. And that's what we need to do here. We need to take the shot. We need to prepare. We need to practice. We need to get ready. And I think we'll be in a good position within the next year or so to get a team.
All for it. We're all on board. Walt Leger, appreciate the time as always, Walter, and appreciate the effort, and let's go get them. You hear? Appreciate you.
Hey, most importantly, thank you for letting me to put the names of my grandchildren on the radio. Everett, James, and Charlie.
It's a done deal. It's our pleasure. Thank you, Walter. Stay safe.
Okay, guys.